everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a favorites video. This is going to be the book favorites for the month of February. It's just going to be a quick video. I think we only have like 4 books to share. Reason being, one of the main reviewers for Chick Lit Plus took the month of February off. So we just didn't have as many reviews in general on Chick Lit Plus because she's one who does like the majority of the reviews. So she took the month off, so we didn't have as many book reviews in February, which means we obviously didn't have as many favorites as we would normally have. So just have a couple books to talk about. I kind of wondered about whether to share the video or not, but you know, I can't leave these books out. Just because we don't have a lot to talk about in this video doesn't mean I can't give the books the recognition that they deserved. I think 2 of them are from me, and so I figured I can kind of go a little bit more in depth into why I really enjoyed them. But yeah, if you would like to see the Chick Lit Plus February book favorites, please keep watching. The first one that we have is A Sudden Crush, and this is by Camilla Isley, and Christy is the one that reviewed this. She mentioned in her review that the book was just very humorous. It made her laugh out loud a lot. She giggled the whole way through the book, and that she thought it was great. It looks like we follow a book editor who is going on a honeymoon. But while on the plane ride to the Caribbean, there's like a storm, and they end up on a deserted island, I think it was, and like trying to survive. And there's a storyline with the guy that the main character is sitting next to on the plane. So sounds like a great chick lit book, and Christy gave this one 5 stars. Next one I have is Up and In by Deborah Disney, and I recently hauled this book, and I said that I was excited just based on the cover to read the book because the cover just immediately grabbed my attention. And this one I just think is so interesting because it's definitely like mommy lit, which I know is like a very popular subgenre out there. But basically we're following a mom that gets kind of like caught up in almost like keeping up with the Joneses type of thing, where they really want their daughter to like have the best education and go to the best school. And while there, she meets a group of other moms who are like the very cliquey type, always trying to outdo one another. You know, they have to have the best of the best. They have to talk about how they have the best of the best. And Maria is trying to figure out like how she fits in, and she kind of like finds herself getting caught up in like, I need to wear the best clothes, I need to make sure I have my hair done. And so, you know, she starts to become accustomed to the certain ways of doing things, and it definitely causes some problems in her marriage, and it causes problems with herself, with her daughter, and she kind of tries to figure out like the right balance for everything. And I just ate this book up. I could not put it down. I thought it was so good. And I mentioned in my review that I am such a huge fan of these mommy lit books. I absolutely love them, which I think is very funny for me because I don't have any children, so I have no experience to go off of. But it's like, I just get lost in this world, and I think it is crazy. And you know, I kind of see so many people around me playing that game, like you always have to be better or have the best thing or have the biggest house or drive a certain car, and I'm not about that life. Like, that would make me way too tired. I just have to do me, otherwise I'd probably go out of my mind. But so I can feel like I can relate to these characters and how Maria's trying not to get caught up in it, but then she like starts to get caught up in it, and she keeps saying like, oh, it's for my daughter, it's for my daughter, it's for my daughter. But then we kind of like peel back the layers, and I loved it. I can't say enough good things about it. I definitely gave it a big old 5-star review. I was so happy to read this. If you are looking for a great one, check out Up and In by Deborah Disney. Alright guys, the next one I have is The Widow. This is by Fiona Barton. I mentioned this in my haul video, that when I hauled this book, that when like every once in a while, I need to step outside my comfort zone when it comes to reading. I need to read a new genre, something that on first glance is something that I would usually pass off to my review team. And when I got the review request for The Widow, I read through the synopsis, I looked at the cover, and I just thought like, okay, this could be a good one for you. And so I decided to review it, even though it's not chick lit, women's fiction, romance, romantic comedy, chick lit mystery. It's none of my genres that I would normally gravitate towards. It's more of like a psychological thriller. Oh my word, where I actually thought about doing a video just on this book alone, but I don't know. I feel like the whole time I'd be like, and then whoa, and then what happened? And like literally I feel like that would be like what my video would be like, but it was so crazy because I was reading this book while eating one day. Like my husband was watching TV and I was at the table, I was eating something, but I was still reading the book. I was on a very tight deadline to read this book. I started reading it late, so I was just reading it all the time, which was not a problem because I loved it so much. But I'm reading it at the table and I just go, oh my husband's like, are you okay? Like, are you joking? Do you not like your food? What's going on? I'm like, this book, I can't. This book. OMG. Like I said, definitely like a psychological thriller suspense novel. So basically we're following the widow, who is Jean. Her husband had a whole case of possibly abducting a young girl and killing her, but the body was never found. And as we're reading, we're getting point of views from several people, including the like police detective that was on the case of this little Bella's disappearance, and going through like the possible suspects. And then the whole time we're also getting the widow's point of view, and we're seeing flashbacks of her marriage to her husband and kind of how he treated her. We learned that he has, you know, like a porn addiction. This is during a time when chat rooms were becoming very popular, and the whole you can make yourself whoever you want to be on the internet, and he possibly was involved with things like that. And the whole time I was like, I'm pretty sure he did it, right? Like he took that little girl, right? But I was never really quite sure. And then as we're getting more into the widow's story, we find out that she and her husband were not able to have children, and she became like obsessed with having a child, and she would make scrapbooks out of like pictures of babies and children, and she clearly had something going on too. And so then I started thinking, did they both take the little girl? And if they both took the little girl, where is the little girl now? And just as you're reading each chapter, I'm getting full on goosebumps right now thinking about reading that book, because as I'm reading each chapter, I'm getting more and more like, I'm a little confused, and then I think I know what's going on, and then I'm not sure anymore, and then we have other suspects coming into play. There's a whole trial that plays out in there, and wow, it was incredible. This is one that I highly, highly, highly recommend, even if this is not your normal genre, but you're someone like me who likes to step out of the comfort zone every once in a while, just to get a peek, just to like step your toe out there and see what else is beyond those doors. I suggest this one. It was fantastic. The last one that we have is If I Run, and this is by Terri Blackstock, and Mary reviewed this one, and just by kind of like reading the synopsis and then Mary's review, it seems like it's maybe along the same lines of The Widow. I'm saying that without seeing exactly what the genre is for sure. Looks like there is a murder. There's a murder investigation. Casey is the main character. It looks like she's a prime suspect in the murder of one of her best friends. It looks like Casey probably runs. I'm thinking maybe that's where the title comes in. And then there's like a detective that is trying to find her. And then Casey has a whole past of like why she doesn't trust the police, that you're kind of, sounds like you're reading that as well. And another one that sounds really, really good, and Mary gave it. So those are all the 5-star books that Chick Lit Plus had in the month of February. I hope you enjoyed this short little video. I also hope you don't mind that I'm like pretty barefaced, because I wasn't planning on filming, and then I decided I should just do it, and I just could not bring myself to like put a full face of makeup on. I just have a bunch of like Milani Luminoso on, some highlight, and some mascara. Called it a day. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up if you like seeing these book reviews and the book favorites coming in. I love being able to give the 5-star books that Chick Lit Plus gives. I love to be able to give them the recognition, and it seems like authors, like the tweets that I get and the comments that I get, authors just find it so much fun that their books are being broadcasted on YouTube, because normally, like, I mean, especially for me, like the books are on blogs and Goodreads, and yeah, we're putting it on social media, but not a lot on YouTube. So it's a lot of fun to see the tweets back from authors like, this is so cool, my book is being mentioned on YouTube. So I'm really glad to be able to do these videos. So I hope you liked it. I really wanted to come on here and do February's favorites, even though there's only 4, but we should be probably back to regular schedule in March, if not April for sure. So we'll see how the month of March goes. But I hope you all have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye!